going on, everybody? We are going into the last worksheet that I will be providing for you guys this year. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to open up though, so I have to try to restart the app on my PC. There it goes. So, this worksheet is 3 pages long. Let me know if you guys are having any issues downloading this, because I've already had some trouble with the Math 12 worksheet, which was very similar. I'm already getting some emails, so I'm wondering if that's what this is about. No, it's not. Some people are just turning in some homework assignments. All right, so as far as today goes, I'm only going to do a page at a time. So I'll be doing the first page with you guys. What I have highlighted in blue are the 4 questions that I'm going to do with you guys, and then the reds are what's going to be part of the assignment. And I did that for every single page that's inside this packet. So anything in blue, I'll be doing. Anything that's in red, you guys will be doing. I know it seems like a lot of questions, but for one, some of these are going to be very, very quick to solve out. And 2, it's not going to be due until like next Monday or Tuesday. So I'm giving you guys an entire week to do these 3 pages. Okay? So that being said, as you guys know, I always try to stall at the beginning because I know a few people will be coming in a little late. So I'm just making sure everybody's in before I start going into them. Some of you guys may already be looking at these questions and you're like, Sadler, I remember how to do these. If you feel comfortable going through this first page, you don't have to stay for the lesson. You don't have to watch the video later. I just wanted to do like a quick review with it just to make sure everybody felt comfortable. So like the first one I highlighted is going back to like algebra. I mean, this is algebra 1. This is very, very basic. I'm just asking you guys to reduce this fraction. So anytime you guys are reducing fractions, all you're checking to see is if there's anything that could cancel out on the top and the bottom. In this one, you guys should see that you have an M on top and bottom, so those are going to cancel out. This is kind of similar to what we were doing with the trig when we had the pi's. And then you just have to reduce the fraction 3 over 6, which is just going to be 1 over 2 because you can divide both the top and bottom by 3. You guys are going to notice that a lot of questions are going to be similar to this, where it's just going to be a quick, hey, I need to reduce it, I'm good to go. All right, so that's it. That's all question number 1 was. So you'll see a couple of questions that are in red. You'll see the same thing. Something will just cancel out on top and bottom. There's also going to be a couple other questions where you may have to factor first before you start crossing stuff out. So that was the next one I highlighted in number 5. So in number 5, you'll notice that you can't just cancel anything out in this case because there's addition. So I taught you guys when we go to reduce fractions, everything has to be multiplication first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out top and bottom, and I am going to cancel out anything that's the same. Yeah, no problem, Shannon. So I'm going to switch to webcam just so I'm not putting emails out live on the air. Let me send this to Shannon. Is anybody else having trouble that's in chat right now that needs this emailed to them? Because if so, I will make sure to send it to you guys right now. If not, then whatever. I've been having a lot of trouble with iTunes today, too. All right, Shannon, I just sent it to you. All right, I'll switch back now. So, if I go to number 5, no problem, Shannon. So in number 5, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to factor top and bottom. If you guys were to look at the top, you guys should see that a 10 fits into both of them. So I'm doing GCF. I pulled a 10 to the outside, and now I'm just figuring out what's left on the inside. And in this case, if you divide both of those by 10, it'll be V plus 4. So a lot of the stuff we're going to be reviewing is going back into factoring. I know we haven't been doing a lot of factoring recently with all this trig, but I wanted to make sure to go back and do some because factoring is a big part for math next year, whether you're in Math 12 or if you're going to be in pre-calc. Now I'm just going to factor the bottom. On the bottom, 8 and 32, you could pull an 8 out of both of those, and you'll be left with v plus 4. And now notice everything is multiplication. It says 10 times v plus 4, 8 times v plus 4. And yes, this is addition on the inside, but it's okay because it's all wrapped in parentheses. So we're taking that 10 and we would have to distribute it back in. That's why I'm saying it's all multiplication. Well, now I have v plus 4 on top and bottom. Those are going to cancel out. So now I'm just left with 10 over 8, which can be reduced because we can divide 10 and 8 by 2. And if we divide both of those by 2, we're just going to have 5 over 4. Yeah, this isn't, so Tabitha, there's many, many different ways to solving these. As long as it's mathematically correct, I'm happy. If you got 5 over 4, you're good. Yeah, you guys don't have to follow the same process that I'm taking in all of these, and that's okay. All right. So I just did 1 and 5. Again, if you guys are joining a little bit later, because I just saw the viewer count go up a little bit, if you're joining in late, anything that I am highlighting in blue, those are the questions I'm going to do. Anything that's highlighted in red, those are the questions that you guys are expected to do. This is going to probably be due next Tuesday, but honestly, get it to me by next Friday. That's what it's going to be down to. Every assignment needs to be in by next Friday because that will be the last day I'm going to be collecting things. I guess you could still turn it in later, but I would suggest getting them in by Friday because for me to sit down and grade all these assignments, it takes a lot of time. So, and next week I'm not going to be giving any new material. So it's just get your old stuff in. So now I'm skipping all the way down to number 10. So if you guys look at number 10, it says m plus 2 over m squared plus 8. So you can't just cancel it out because it's only addition right now. It has to be all multiplication. If you look at the top, you have m plus 2, but m plus 2 can't be factored. There's no number that fits or that can be pulled out of both of them. So we can't factor the top. If you guys look at the bottom, it says m squared plus 8. And again, you guys should notice there's nothing you can pull out of it. The only other thing that we could look for is possibly dots when we did difference of two squares, but difference of two squares means it has to be subtraction. So in this particular problem, because we can't factor the top, because we can't factor the bottom, this problem right here is actually not factorable. And actually, I should say, this is what I'm going to write down, cannot be reduced. Yeah, because you cannot factor top and bottom, there's nothing you can technically cancel off here. You're not allowed to just cross off an m. You can't just divide it by 2 because it has to be all multiplication first. Okay? So I don't know. There might be other ones that cannot be reduced. I'm not sure. I didn't actually make an answer key for this whole thing yet, so there could be some other ones. But I'm going to jump to the very last one I'm going to do with you guys today, and that's number 11. So in number 11, this time we have trinomials. So I wanted to do some review with factoring trinomials. We haven't done them in a bit. This is going into the double bubbles. So we have to factor top and bottom. So the top one's a little bit easier to factor because there's no number in front of the j squared. So I can actually factor this one out by doing my two bubbles. And if you guys recall factoring trinomials, j squared can be broken down into two pieces, and that's just going to be j and j. And then the next part we had to do was what can you multiply to get to that last number that will add up to give you the middle? So what can we multiply to get to 6? They'll add up to give you 7. And in this case, it would just be 6 times 1. And since we need it to be a positive 7, then we know that the signs have to be positive. So the top one, pretty easy to factor out. We're good to go. The bottom, it is a trinomial, but there is one method of factoring we need to do first before we start doing double bubble. And it's because every one of those terms has something in common. For 1, it has a j in common, and it also has the number 2 in common. So we can actually GCF the bottom first, and I could pull out a 2j. And now I'm going to do one big parenthesis and write down what trinomial we have left over, which in this case would be 6j squared minus 7j minus 5. So the bottom is a method called guess and check. So this one wasn't as easy as the top. The top we have always just called an easy trinomial because there is no number out front at the beginning. However, this one has a 6 out front. So it makes it a little bit more complicated. We got to do a little bit more thinking with this. So I'm just going to rewrite my fraction. We have j plus 6 and j plus 1 on the top. That's not going to change. We still have a 2j on the bottom. But now we have to do a guess and check. So we're still looking at the first number. We're still looking at the last number. I'm going to look at the last number first because we have a 5. And there's only one thing we can multiply to get 5, and that's just 5 and 1. So I'm just going to put in a 5, and I'm going to put in a 1. It doesn't matter what order we put it in, at least for that part. The other part is this 6j squared. Now, there's two different things we can multiply to get 6j squared. We can do 6j and j, or we can do 3j and 2j. So we have to try to figure out which one we want to plug in, and then we're going to do our check, which I'll show you guys in a second. I don't know which answer it is, so I'm just going to pick the first one. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to try 6j and j. So in order to check to see if your solution is true, what I taught you guys to do was to multiply the insides and then multiply the outsides. No, we're not doing the whole packet today, Sierra. I'm only doing this first page with you guys today. And then tomorrow we'll do the second page, and then Wednesday we'll do the third page. So when we go to do this guess and check, 5j and 6j, if you guys try to add those together, it does not give you the middle number of -7. So my guess that I just tried did not work. But you can't give up on the 6j and the j yet. Apparently my iPad froze. There it goes. So what you guys need to make sure you do is you check it in the reverse order as well. And if you try checking this, you'll have j times 1, which is j, and 5 times 6j, which is 30j. 30 and 1 doesn't give you that 7 either. So we know that the first ones are not going to work. So I know it's got to be 3j and 2j. I just got to figure out which order it's going to be in. So I'll try the 3j first and the 2j second. And if it doesn't work, we'll just flip-flop it. So again, I'm multiplying the insides. I'm going to have 5 times 2, which is 10j. And I'm going to have 3 times 1, which is going to be 3j. Well, we can take 10j and 3j and combine them together to get 7. We just have to subtract them. So you just have to make sure you know which one's going to be positive and which one's going to be negative. Since we want it to be a -7, the 5 is going to be negative because -5 times 2j would give you -10j, and the 1 will be positive. And now we have -10 plus 3 would give us -7. So that was like, in a quick nutshell, what we did when we used to reduce our given polynomials. So now we did all of that, and now I'm looking to see if anything can cancel out. And based on what I'm seeing, it can't be reduced anymore. So we reduced it as far as we possibly could. So in this one, we do have an answer, unlike number 10. Number 10 says it couldn't be reduced because there was nothing we can factor it down. Number 11, we did factor it down. It's just there's nothing that can cancel out. And make sure you guys are not canceling this part out right here. This is j plus 1. This is 2j plus 1. You are only allowed to cancel them out if the parentheses are exactly the same. Since they're not exactly the same, you can't just cancel this out and say the answer is 2. That whole thing is our solution. Okay? So I only wanted to do that first page. If you guys want to get a jump start and start doing those ones, you can. I'll even scroll down right now. So like I already have all of them highlighted. So if you guys think you remember how to do page 2, I'm only going to do the first 2 with you guys tomorrow. And then 3, 4, and 5 will be assigned to you guys. So if you want to get a jump start, you can. If you just want to wait till tomorrow, wait till tomorrow. As far as the last page goes, I'm going to be doing those 4 that are in blue, and the rest will be assigned for you. Okay? So again, it looks like there's a lot of questions going on here, but after we go back and start doing some practice, you guys are going to realize it's not really that much in retrospect from what we've already been doing. Okay? That, and you guys know you can come to me and ask me any questions that you need. I'm available in Zoom every day. I know a handful of you guys are pretty much there every day anyways. But don't be afraid to stop by Zoom or just shoot me an email. Okay? But that's all I got for you guys today. If you got questions, just let me know. All right? So go enjoy your day. It's another beautiful day outside. Should be like that tomorrow too before it starts raining again. But I will catch you guys later. See ya.